reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is the Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
In 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? It's the Horror Deconstruction. You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, but most likely on YouTube. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. Hit that thumbs up with your host Komp and
U.L. Russell.
As well as
Thea.
Today we are talking about the television or Netflix streaming series.
I'm supposed to say it. Stranger Things, Season 4, 2022.
See, what part did I screw up for you?
Every part.
That's how you usually do it, isn't it?
Yes. Because
well, it sounded more like I wasn't anticipating a pause.
Oh, well, everything has to be about Danny.
I know.
Stranger Things Season 4.
My name is U.L. Russell.
Is that supposed to be like a Kurt Russell name or something?
Nah, I just thought of it.
All right. Well, since the Wikipedia is not opening up for me, Stranger Things 4 takes back with the kids from a little town called
Hawkins.
So the team is split up. Basically, they're all spread around from California to Hawkins, and some people are even in Russia, as the nefarious new entity shows his face and creates a couple of murders, and which reunites the whole crew. I really should have read the Wikipedia, but this brings back everybody to season 4 after people like season 3 of Stranger Things. So
did people not like it?
Season 3, yeah,
people get a mixed bag reaction for it. I thought it was fantastic. For me, that was like the best season since the first one because it felt more like a proper sequel than the second one. Because the second one felt like a rehash.
The second one left a lot of opened loose threads that never got answered.
So returning to the cast is Winona Ryder's Joyce Byers, David Harbour, Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard, Gaten Matarazzo, Caleb McLaughlin, Noah Schnapp, Sadie Sink, Natalia Dyer, Charlie Heaton. Jeez Louise, there's a lot of people in the show. Charlie Heaton, Joe Keery, Maya Hawke, as well as Brett Gelman, and new characters are played by Dacre Montgomery played Billy in second season. Who's the new guys? Who's Jamie Campbell Bower?
We got Eddie. Who's Eddie?
Jamie Campbell Bower, Eduardo Franco, and Joseph Quinn as the new characters. Henry Argyle and Eddie Munson, respectively. So what did we guys and ladies and whatever you want to identify as think of season 4 of Stranger Things?
Thea, why don't you begin?
I really enjoyed it. I think I was one of the people that I liked season 3, but it wasn't. I don't know. It's what the seasons always kind of do, which is really strong endings and sort of meandering middles.
Okay. Well,
which is okay because that's just the nature of the beast to some degree.
What's your favorite season of the Stranger Things then?
Favorite season?
Yeah.
I mean, 1 obviously.
Okay.
But I actually really liked this season.
Yeah, same.
I think I really liked the horror references. I really liked the big bad was really well done. Even though I sort of called it. Mm-hmm. But it's hard not to.
You knew that dude was going to be Vecna?
I knew he was going to be bad.
I knew he was going to be bad, too.
Oh, yeah, he's very obvious.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody not thinking that guy's evil.
Although I did get thrown off, I thought maybe he wasn't bad at one point. But
as soon as he mentioned 1, I was like, well, he's 1.
Okay.
I didn't call that. You're smarter than me.
I knew, when just the way he spoke to people, and then at the end when he had that little thing in his neck, and he said, boy, oh boy, right. I can't do anything with this in my neck. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
But, everybody's impressionable. Yeah. But what'd you guys think of the
But I really liked it.
What'd you guys think of the CGI used on Millie Bobby Brown to de-age her for the most part of this season?
Oh, I was reading about that. Because there was a real actress, and they just kind of put the face on the actress. It was a little weird, only because I knew, but if I didn't know that was a different person and CGI, I think it would have been okay.
It's been since three years since the last season, since season 3. Obviously,
yeah, but kids go through puberty, and it's like holy shit.
They're all still playing 14, 15-year-olds.
They're all 20s.
It's so weird because I remember just reading up on because there's all these sort of fashion videos of Sadie Sink, who is like a breakout star since season 2. She's the redhead.
Is that
girl.
Max?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's all breaking out, and then she has this sort of vibe of who's that redhead, the one that's like older but hotter. What's her name?
Older but hotter redhead.
You know, she played Clarice in Hannibal the movie. Julia. What is her name?
Julianne Moore?
Yeah, because I can see Sadie Sink sort of like... I can't see Sadie Sink as an adult right now. When I found out she was 20 years old, I was like, what? Because she still on the show, she still looks like a child, and there's all these people...
Yeah, that's weird.
There's all these people all about her because, I don't know, because outside of the, show, she's interviewed as an adult, but she still looks like a fucking child to me. So none of these people look like adults. So I think it's because we have that Netflix, in your head. None of them look like 19 or the only one that's like 17, I think, is Noah Schnapp, and maybe Erica is probably still young.
Right.
Oh yeah, Erica's back too. I actually ended up liking her character. I thought she was annoying in season 3, but I kind of appreciated her here. So it's Danny. What did you think in the long run of the whole series? Like, how do you like
this is my favorite season. I think.
Why?
I mean, season 1 is like classic, of course, but like this is great. Season 2 is probably my least favorite. I think. Wait, what? What's here?
This felt like it delivered on like the promise of season 1.
Yeah. I mean, this is like as oh shit as it gets. This is like the Empire Strikes Back of Stranger Things.
Yes, and the budget is obviously showing in this one that they put a lot of money into it. I can remember from first season when they fight that first Demogorgon or whatever it's called. It's like I was like, oof, those graphics on that monster.
And
but
it's just like a little thing, and now there's like 8 million Demogorgons.
Yeah, but in this one, Vecna actually looks really great. He's actually a lot of practical effects. He's a lot of practical makeup effects when you look at the behind-the-scenes footage. There was a time at the beginning of it when I saw the first half of the series. I had no idea that Henry was Vecna. I thought Vecna was some sort of psychic projection of Henry Creel. I mean, the other Creel guy, Victor Creel.
Right.
Which was Robert Englund playing him, which was a cool cameo. He's this guy who gouged out his own eyes. Do you think they'll bring him back for season 5?
No. But I was worried. I was wondering, why wouldn't they tell him, like, oh, by the way, your son is a crazy person? Like, so
they probably all sound crazy. You know what I mean?
Does he know Thea?
I think so. Or no, sorry. He thought
his son died.
That the house was possessed or something.
Yeah, he thinks there's like a demon or something, but like he should know the truth.
Nobody says anything here.
But they think he murdered the rest of his family.
I know, but just he should know for his own self. Like, that's all.
I could understand a lot not saying a lot of things to a lot of people because you don't want to be perceived as a crazy person and locked away on this show. But like, if who's the kid with the teeth? Dustin, yeah. Why didn't he hey, let me show you something. Like, take the uncle. Let me show you this portal. Did the portals all close off? No, they opened up, right?
I think
so. Literally, that portal.
Would the uncle know it's in his fucking trailer?
Right, that portal will still exist in his trailer. So can he just go over here and say, "Look, this is where Eddie is. This is his corpse. This is hell. You see, look at all this is hell." They don't nobody here on the show will wait. They'll wait like another year supposedly before they do anything. You know what I mean? Like. They won't say anything? Like, because I understand the government's going to come after you and all that shit, and they'll think 11 has something to do with it.
I think everyone will fucking know now. They're all in the Upside Down.
I know, but it's like, it's so strange that there's all these paranormal things. And even, like, there's a character named Jason who's, like, a side antagonist. I didn't even hate him that much myself.
Wait, which one is that?
He's the blonde basketball player.
The fucking... I hate him.
But the thing is...
I didn't like him.
I didn't like him, but I kind of understood what he was in the show. He was sort of supposed to be a stand-in for the all-American guy that leads sort of a panic. So what characters do you guys want to focus on? Let's all pick 3 characters each that we thought worked, were the most prominent in the series. And let me just first say the 3 that didn't matter were Mike Wheeler, Jonathan Byers. And Will, I guess, mattered for some reason.
Barely.
I mean, their job was literally just get a bathtub.
Yeah, watch her do stuff.
Did you guys?
But also not.
Did you guys like Argyle or no?
Yeah.
I see a
giant.
I
see a good comic relief.
I see a giant divide of people not liking him. I thought he was fine. I thought he was funny.
He's a little annoying.
Hez didn't like him either.
Really?
Why not?
I think because it was too stoner stereotype.
But was Argyle the bad representation of Hez's whole business or something?
Kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. It's very stereotypical.
Yeah, it is.
Right? That's the joke. That's the whole joke.
Yeah.
What I found funny was that the other pizza person was also like this, like stoner person.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Eleven's storyline, which I sort of put as the third. The third most entertaining part of this because I didn't really care about her being inside of this facility. I understand at the beginning they kind of put it off as if she had caused a massacre or something, and we have the returning actor who plays Papa, who's Matthew Modine, and he's like, "What did you do?" He's like that, and so we're all led to believe that there's. And of course, I'm from the beginning. I'm like, nah. Although in the series, she did kill adults in season 1 and 2. You know what I mean? She did kill people, snap their necks, and for some reason, the show wants to make us believe that she never did any of that. For some reason, like, oh my God, she's incapable of killing all these people. She'd be evil, but she killed a lot of people
in self-defense. She didn't do like an Anakin Skywalker
but they're trying to
Jedi Academy.
They're trying to wipe the slate clean with fucking like Anakin killing kids. All of a sudden, he's like forgiven. Right. Meanwhile, those kids are in hell, right, waiting to be accepted into the Force.
Oh my God.
But I what did you guys think? Well, what were the three? There's 3 storylines here, right? There's 11 in the facility. There's Mike and his friends trying to get to 11.
And Russia.
There's Max and Dustin. Oh, there's 4 stories, right? There's Max and Dustin. And then there's Russia. So what did you guys, ranking the storylines, what were the most interesting to you?
Russia last.
Really?
Me.
Yeah. Okay.
Really? Oh,
yeah, it just did nothing for me.
I disagree.
Was it because it was the adults, or why?
I mean, maybe. I think it was just too one note.
Okay.
The whole way through for me.
So you're not interested in Prison Break movies and stuff like that?
No.
Same.
I don't care. We knew they were going to get broken out, and like there wasn't really I knew that there were Demigorgons there. I don't know.
You knew the Demigorgons were there before?
They teased that They teased that at the end of the 3rd season.
Oh, okay. See, I did not rewatch, so I was not completely fresh on the on the last time. I mean, I remember it, but not that well. I actually read Wikipedia summaries to try to refresh myself a little bit.
Right.
So the Russia.
We watched a YouTube summary of season 3 right before, just to remember what happened because it was so long ago. And I think right at the end of season 3, you see that basically Hopper is still alive. He's being held in a Russian prison, and there are some kind of other worldly beings there. So I already sort of knew that was coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't shocked.
Let's talk about the least important storylines to the I guess most important or more entertaining storylines. So let's say
so for me the least was the Mike and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of driving around in a pizza truck. It was okay. It wasn't the worst, but it was the worst in the season. But it wasn't. It was still good. But
I think that simply was there just to show Will had the hornies for Mike. I think that was it. Literally the whole storyline for them, and then
And that Mike loves, but is insecure, and blah blah blah. We get it.
What happened to Finn Wolfhard? Because he became the worst actor on the show for some reason.
You think
he grew out of his acting or something that big monologue at the end? He's like, "You're the most important. You're like the superhero." He's talking.
Well, he's still child acting.
I guess so. You
know what I mean? Bigger than it needs to be.
And that might be a stretch for me to say he's the worst actor in the show, but there was certainly I just didn't buy him for some reason, and maybe it's just
worse than he is.
Probably, most likely, yeah.
Really?
That part where Will is confessing his love to Mike, but saying it's actually 11, and and not because now Noah Schnapp is saying, oh, it's obviously Will's gay for Mike, and I'm sure people now who've been watching the whole season are like, what? He's gay? Oh, I can't have my kids watch this. All of a sudden, it's surprising or something. But
maybe there can be some sort of 11 Mike Will thing going on.
These are children, Danny. So, do you think this we had talked about before the episode, but do you think that the internet
in a few years?
Do you think the internet willed Will to be gay in the show? Will Byers to be a gay character?
I don't know.
Into existence?
I hadn't been paying attention to that. I guess the internet.
Yeah.
He's always been the least important character. Even in season 1, yeah, it's all about
Yeah.
him, but also he's literally not in it.
Apparently,
Yeah.
he's the main character in the final season, so maybe they'll do something with that.
I read a theory that Vecna's gonna possess him or something.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I would
I
figure
can see that.
I'd figure he'd do that to Max because Max is the one that's now in limbo. But yeah, I think that the pizza parade crew is probably the least entertaining of the season, even though they had like army guys chasing them. The new army tough guy with the shades.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, he came off as a piece of shit. But he did a good job then, acting wise. So then
Yeah.
we go to Russia, which has Joyce Byers, which is Winona Ryder. David Harbour is Jim Hopper. I think they all did pretty good. Well, did you guys recognize?
I actually like the story, the Russian thing. I think that's equal to the Lucas Max storyline.
Did you?
Eddie Munson is my favorite, though.
Danny, did
like,
you
by
recognize the Russian guard who was arrested with him?
far. He was from Game of Thrones.
Yes, he was. He was. What does he say? A man with no name doesn't wear pants or some shit like that throughout
Oh
Game of
man,
Thrones.
with no face?
Yeah.
That guy?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
guy.
he's the guy. He's the guy
I
that
didn't
trains
recognize him without
Arya.
his sick hair.
Yeah, and so then there was also the pilot who I wanted to reach through my television and fucking choke him of that plane. And then there's that sort of obnoxious comedian.
He kind of has like a little, he gets good in the end.
No, because he's a piece of shit either way. I just don't like him. I wish
But
the
he
helicopter...
but he gets his honor back. I would say he
Nah.
gets his honor back.
I wish he fell out the helicopter, and we saw that.
Yeah.
But and then also is the comedian. I forget his name. He's a little bit. He's a bit obnoxious. But I
Murray.
thought he was good. Murray. I liked Murray in the show too. So that whole Russian storyline, I guess we're not really gonna step on. They did fight Demogorgons. That was an
I don't
interesting.
understand why everybody hates the Russian stuff so much.
I don't hate
I don't
it.
hate it. I just thought for the amount of screen time that it had, it was too one note. I think we could have done all of that in way less time.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair
But
enough.
they were trying to keep the adults busy and away from the kids' storyline so that they didn't muck it up.
Yeah.
And I felt that.
What's
I did-
crazy is in this season, there's like, because usually like, well, first of all, they're all in close proximity and all the storylines kind of totally have to do with each other. But these all kind of
Yeah.
like are totally different paths, but all end up in the same point anyway. But they're all in different places.
Yeah, I
like,
did
none of
appreciate that
them
they were all in
interact.
different areas. Yeah, I did like that they all sort of met up at the very end.
Like the very end,
most
it's
part.
like none of them know the other person's story at all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
So
was cool.
third best. What do you guys think? Or second best?
What are the
storyline?
options? It's the
There's
Lucas,
11
Max.
story. There's the Max story with the rest of the kids trying to hide Eddie Munson. There's the Russian, and then there's also these nerds in the pizza car. So I would say the second would be 11 storyline, right? With the
I think so.
in the facility,
Yeah.
and they finally killed off Matthew Modine's character Papa, who I thought was killed in the first season, but he does come
Well,
back for
they
this one.
explain, like, did they ever... I know
did
at the
show
end
him,
of
I
the
think.
second season, they kind of say, oh, he's still alive. But, like, how... Did they ever
Right.
explain how?
Don't they show a
No.
flashback in this one? I thought they showed a flashback of him surviving in this one.
They did, but I was like, I don't know. I don't think they showed how he survived. They just showed that he survived.
They got
Okay.
Paul Reiser as Dr. Sam Owens returning. He is, I guess, redeeming himself for the asshole he played in Aliens. Although he was still being a little bit of a dick in this one. With
Yeah, he's kind of a dick in
fooling-
this, too.
He was fooling her a little bit, but you did see that he cares. He's also on the show The Boys, and he plays a funny
Don't
asshole
spoil.
in that show. What did I say? I just said he's on the fucking show.
He plays
Holy
a funny
God,
asshole.
Danny, he
Spoiler.
breathes.
You told me he's an
Don't spoil.
asshole.
So this you want to talk about this a little bit, Thea? Eleven's little journey in her storyline.
Yeah, she gets taken back to the facility where she was trained, or to a facility that's similar to the one she was trained in anyway. Obviously not the same one in Hawkins. And Papa sort of tells her very slowly, or tries to get her power back, basically, what she had lost.
Because she overused
And-
it in season 3, fighting I forget what the name of the creature in that one was. The mind.
The Mind
Big Bad.
Flayer.
Anyway, she
Mind
loses
Flayer.
her power to the big bad when she fights the big bad at the end of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of her getting her power back, and to do that, they sort of almost do psychological, like running her back through the past that she forgot pre-season 1. So we get to see a bunch of flashbacks of what happened in the facility, why all of the other kids didn't survive, and the devastation that was caused when she left, even though it wasn't her fault, we find out.
So I'm glad that this season, although I'm sure they will be back, they didn't. Was it season 2 or 3 where they had those horrible X-Men kids?
I think it was
2.
2.
It was 2, yeah.
I
liked the X-Men
well,
kids
here's why,
storyline a
because
little
this
bit.
is going to be why
This wasn't resolved.
Danny's going to get mad at me because I know Danny likes the character because of his
Oh, you're such an asshole. Stop.
inhuman, immortal lust for Middle
It's
Eastern
not
women.
true. That's not true.
She was like 13.
No, he's
I'm just making
saying
a joke.
something very
Oh.
different.
No. So, do you think they'll be back for the final season, right? Like, why introduce those like super powered kids?
I think they realized they didn't want them or something.
Though I'm telling you, those people just did not like that storyline or those characters.
They did not.
It's the same as there was this couple in the show Lost that people really hated, and then when they killed them, they like cheered, and even though they only were like in one episode. So I think
Who was
those
that?
kids,
is that the robbers? Those
yeah, I think that they
criminal
buried them alive at the end of the episode, sort of thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
those characters, I assume that the Duffers will try to redeem them by bringing them back in some form in the final season. These are the X-Men kids. I have no interest.
Well, only
in ever
one
seeing
of them.
again.
Only one of them had powers. The rest were just punks.
Yeah, I look at them as a whole bunch of assholes. So I think 11 storyline was fine. I liked the whole breakout at the end. I wasn't really interested because they're just trying to make her remember something that I knew it was moot. We knew that she didn't kill those kids. It was nice that it was a reveal that she was the one that fucked up Henry Creel. That was fine. But other than that, I really didn't give a rat's ass about that whole facility because
I love
it's
the
all
whole
repeat.
like teenage, not teenager, like the Steve age storyline. All those ones, like Eddie and Steve and.
Well, yeah, no, we'll get to that now because I think that's the most important one. But I think, like Thea says about the prison stuff, I thought it was repetitive of her inside the facility because we're just watching 11 sort of be miserable and be depressed the whole thing. And I obviously it's important to show Henry's character because he's the one that eventually becomes Victor Creel. So this is the sort of like Wikipedia. This sequence seems to be the Wikipedia reading that you have to do before you find out Victor Creel is the bad guy. I mean, Henry's the bad guy. So I really didn't give a rat's ass. I was fine. Once you see one scene with Henry alone, she could have just warped him right there, and that's fine. I didn't give a rat's ass. I was more interested in the final storyline, which I assume all think is the most interesting one out of the whole lot because it was It was Max's storyline mixed with Eddie's storyline and everybody else trying to save the day, which I would say is probably the most interesting characters out of the whole series, actually all grouped up into one area. It seems like the Duffer Brothers were like, all right, let's get rid of these fucking nerds. Let's put them on their side. And let's put the main characters that everybody likes in the main storyline. Literally, that's what it really is.
Like Steve and Robin and Eddie are like my favorites.
And they have a good way of pairing up characters that are completely different. Like it was Steve and Dustin in the second season and third season, and now they found the way. In the third season they mixed up Steve with Maya Hawke's character. Oh shit, I don't know where her name is. Robin. And Robin is this girl who looks like a mix of Ethan Hawke and her mother Uma Thurman because he literally looks like her. She has like the whole separated eyes.
She's amazing. I love her.
She's great, and she is she's lesbian, LGBTQ IA plus or whatever they call that. She's one of those in that lifestyle.
She's
queer.
I
sound like a fucking.
She's lesbian.
Yeah,
and so is that girl that she likes. It's obvious, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think they got rid of.
Like, I mean, that was the end. Like, it's like official. She is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's definitely flirting going on.
Okay. I mean, because I'm a little oblivious with this shit, but it seemed pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So that is a good team up. Obviously, the new introduction of everybody's favorite new character, which is Eddie Munson, who I thought was actually a really cool character. Joseph Quinn plays him, and to see him outside of his makeup and shit, he's just like, what? Like the hair, the wig. He just looks like a regular English guy with the mustache. He's fucking great. Like, I really liked his character, and I legitimately was like, because to me that was my biggest gripe with this season was he didn't have to do what he had to do to die. Like he said, he goes, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna fight those bats for no reason.
No, but
man.
he did because those things were about to fly through the door. And
okay, fine. Then there's police. So then police will fucking shoot flying bats.
Oh yeah, police hide during school shootings when they got Bobby on there. They're gonna fight for bats.
He didn't have to kill himself against bats. I knew like his character was screwed anyway because they thought he was a Satanist and he was able to like conjure demons from hell. Although people would eventually have seen monsters actually come out and they probably still would have blamed them anyway. But I thought that his death was very unnecessary. Unless they had written Dustin was going to get killed by the monsters, then I could see him sacrificing himself because for this is something. It felt like a very empty sacrifice for an actual. He wasn't
just sacrificing though so that they didn't go through to the real world. It was to keep the whole reason that they were there was to keep the bats off of the 3 that went into the house.
Yeah.
So that they weren't attacked while they were trying to kill the big bad.
Okay, so then I must have completely not paid attention to that.
So,
Alex, you are wrong.
He didn't know what was going on there, and he was trying to keep them safe.
Well, either way...
I don't know, it made sense to me for that.
Well, either way,
Alex, you're an asshole, and you're wrong.
So, Stranger Things has a thing where they will not kill main characters off. They will introduce a character in a subsequent season and then kill them off for after you like them. So that happened with Bob in season 2, and in 3 they killed Billy. I didn't like Billy at all, but they're just thirsty for the actor who played Billy, so they wanted him to stay alive. And I guess Ted Wheeler was happy that that guy didn't fuck his wife. And in this one, obviously Eddie Munson. And they say that they killed Max, but clearly Max is still in some sort of limbo in this one.
Yeah, but she's like brain dead and blind.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do. They'll probably do some magic horse shit.
Maybe 11 will rebuild her brain.
Yeah, I think obviously Sadie Sink's performance in this season is incredible. They gave her a lot to do with. Like I'm sure like they didn't give much to the main actress, Millie Bobby Brown. I assume she's the main actress because she was like kind of the biggest star of the show at this time. And but they really didn't give her as much as they did with Max because Max had a lot of shit going on, and plus there's a limited basis with what 11 can do emotionally because she is sort of stunted. Obviously, she was sad about her father. She thought David Harbour's character had died and was gone. So she had that, and she doesn't know how to communicate still, although she's a lot better than the previous seasons. But I will say I was so I loved it when she smashed that girl over the face with her roller skates.
Oh, that was the best.
I didn't know how long the series was going to go, so I didn't know how long they would have stretched that out. But for the fact they smashed that fucking...
It was so satisfying. My immediate thought was, oh, good, this girl's going to have a big scar on her face.
I hope they show her next
life.
season. I hope she has a scar and then Vecna climbs through the scar on her face and kills her. Like, just her head explodes. But, but it was so weird because that whole, like, bullying shit with the show, it's like, even Mike's, like, her boyfriend, right? And he's like, why'd you do that? I was like, what the fuck? Like, Mike should have stood over and be like, yeah, bitch. Like, he should have done that, Like,
but he didn't know that she was bullying her.
When he saw the whole crowd of people rolling around there and videotaping
he didn't know that was happening all the time.
Right.
Either way, I would have said, fuck all you. Like, that he's a terrible, stupid boyfriend because he's afraid
I would have started
peeing
into the roller skate wound on her head.
and Will's not doing anything because he's busy thinking about like Mike. Like he doesn't care. He's probably like he's probably so happy that she got humiliated. He's like, see, she's a bitch. You can be with me, Mike. Sorry for that accent. I didn't mean it that way. But I think that whole that was fine. But other than that, I just did not give a rat's ass about those people. But bringing
those
it back
people,
to
what do you mean those people?
The students and their dangerous ways. So Sadie Sink, to me, the best scene in the whole series, obviously the same one that everybody loved, was her running away from Vecna to the glorious sound of "Running Up That Hill" by Kate. What's her name? Kate
Bush.
Kate Bush. What did you guys think of that scene?
It was great.
It's great.
It's like
what else can you say?
I know, really. Like the director for that one, who was Sean Levy, like really showed like an incredible. Like you could see the budget was in it. Like that was just an incredible sequence, especially to the music. And I really even think towards the end, when they started doing the cross cutting between the battles, they started adding in that song again. Like my thoughts are that they added that in post because of how big the song became again. That they probably had some other song on, and then obviously they added Metallica, which was great for Eddie's scene, which that actor actually learned how to play that on his guitar.
He was in Game of Thrones 2, apparently.
Oh, was he? Oh, yeah, he was, like, in a couple of scenes.
He's a soldier, some random soldier.
So let's talk about the lesser talked characters, which I think for this season. Well, Joe Keery, Steve Harrington was as important as always. He's always sort of this comic relief.
I always feel very bad for him. Like, he should be with Nancy. What the fuck?
Nah, Nancy.
I mean, they might be leading that way. I think they are.
Jonathan's just like this weird guy. Like, who gives
that
a
was
shit?
the feeling that I got at the end of this season was that they're heading that way. Like, I think they're gonna split those two up.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Is it because they're boring together? I thought in season 3 where they were investigating the rats and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. God, that was the worst storyline. I was so uninterested in Nancy
They're an
and
annoying
Jonathan.
power couple. I think Steve could do better than her.
Well, yeah, I think Steve should be fucking with somebody else, like, who matters. But they want to bring them back together because Steve obviously was supposed to die in the first season, and then they decided to keep him, and they made his character actually interesting. Like, I liked them from the beginning because I didn't like people. But Danny, I remember Danny arguing with me. I do. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't give a shit about it. Nancy Wheeler, I thought, redeemed herself from third season from being boring. Like, they actually gave her stuff to do in this one. Yeah. Although I think that if she actually welded a shotgun, the shotgun would have thrown her across the room. But Jonathan Byers, enough of him, because he was supposed to be the downtrodden kid, but now he's sort of just a stoner in this season.
Yeah.
So there's no addition to his character.
He's always been like one of my least favorite characters.
He's just supposed to. He's not attentive to his girlfriend's feelings, and so that's why it opens the doors for Steve. And Steve should just your girlfriend literally dumps you or cheats on you with somebody else, and you can be I don't believe in opening back doors. But I guess it's different in these type of shows. Steve should just find somebody else. He should I don't know. But I like this character. Obviously, he's one of the best. He's always a top 3 character in this series. So what can you do about that? Dustin was not as I guess he is important in this season because he's hooked up with Eddie this season.
Do you know the actor doesn't have collarbones in real life?
Yeah, he's able to move his shoulders in front of him, in front of his face. Like, he's able to bend them towards him.
Yeah, that's like pretty interesting.
I thought that he was like discovered by the show, but he was on Broadway before. Like
he's a great singer.
Is he? Oh yeah, because he's always singing for bands and stuff like that. He's always like opening with his sister. I believe they're like they hire them as singers. Lucas Sinclair's character, played by Caleb McLaughlin, I thought he was good for the most part. He's a little bit stiff, but I was
really relieved when he wasn't bad, because at first I was like, when he gave the tip away to the guy, he's like, I found a clue. I thought he was like turning out his friends to be popular.
Lucas is. I always think.
Yeah, he was misleading them, but I didn't know at first.
I always think Lucas is like a good kid. I don't think they ever really give him that much material, but I thought like when Max's quote unquote death scene, I thought he was like incredible. Like, it literally made up for everything else they didn't get. Because for the most part, he was just sort of like, oh, my girlfriend doesn't want to be with me this season. So he was sort of sad. And he was sort of nervous.
And my friends don't want to.
Fucking 30 characters in their show.
Well, yeah, his friends did him dirty because they want to play Dungeons and Dragons while he's trying to play basketball. But I guess you can see he was having the same problem Will was having in season 2 or season 3 when they didn't want to play Dungeons and Dragons anymore. You know what I mean? So basically, they just warped that onto him. But when he actually had to emote and they gave him something and he's crying, and the part when he says, like, Erica, help, I was like, oh my God, this kid was fucking great. Like,
he was really good.
His acting in that scene was so incredible. I thought Millie Bobby Brown's acting was terrible in that scene because she's like, I guess it's the character itself is supposed to not, like, emote well, but she's, like, shaking her head no, and it was so over the top. It was like, you're, like, stepping on his acting. Like, stop it already. We got
I didn't get that feeling.
Erica Sinclair, who's played by Priya Ferguson. It's so bizarre, like the makeup on these people. It's like Max.
Wait,
who looks
which
like
one
an
is
actual.
that?
She's Lucas's sister, the little girl with the attitude, Erica. She had like the best quote in the season 3 was, "You can't spell America without Erica." I thought she was good in here. I found her super annoying in the 3rd season because she's just sort of like a bitchy little sister.
I think she's supposed to be super annoying.
Yeah, she is.
I've always liked her.
But I liked her. I liked her in this
Even
one.
when she was supposed to be the annoying sister.
Yeah, so she's like one of those other people, like Eddie Munson and whichever other actors here look like 20 years older than they are, and you're like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. Like when you take them out of the makeup and stuff like that. Who else did it? Maya Hawke obviously as Robin Buckley was great in this. She's got perfect comedic timing. Winona Ryder wasn't annoying this season as Joyce Byers.
Do you think she's annoying?
With first season for sure, because she's like
Well,
she's
like
sort of
downplaying
playing like a chicken with her head cut off throughout the whole series, because she's worrying about Will. But I thought everybody here, I think everybody brought their A game for the most part. What problems did you guys have with this season?
Just what we said, like the pacing. I wish it was shorter a little bit, because it's really long. Like their episodes are like 2 hours long and shit.
Well,
but,
yeah,
I guess Thea pointed out, you could probably cut that Russia shit down by like a solid hour, and it would be okay.
Karen, they should have just cut down all of Mike and his friends in the car, and they should just have him do a phone call.
Yeah.
They should just had a phone call. But, oh yeah, we're on our way, and that's it. Once again, screwed out of good acting is Karen Wheeler, Carabona, the MILF of the series. She all she did is change her hair to a different color. It looked horrible. And her husband Ted. I was telling on the Twitter that I think like her husband, you know, that sleepy guy who looks like 50 years older than he does in real life. You want to see a motherfucker that looks different. That guy, when he's not wearing those big fucking glasses. I figured Ted Wheeler, like maybe he mans up in the final season and kills Vecna. And he's like, he fucks his wife finally, so he doesn't have to worry about her cheating on him. And then he's like,
I think he's never gonna do any of those.
Like he
things,
drives a truck.
Dad.
He drives a truck into Vecna and kills him, and he goes, "That's what I hate about this town is all the damn Demogorgons." And then that's how it ends. And that's a Lost Boys reference. So nobody had problems with this season. Well, just the overextension of the series.
Thea hated it, but I liked it.
All right, let's talk about Vecna. What do you guys think about Vecna?
I liked this whole story arc.
He's great. You saw it ahead of time that Henry was Vecna, Thea.
Yeah, not like right off the bat, but like I think what I could tell was that he was one. As soon as he mentioned one, I was like,
okay.
So that's you.
I didn't see a connection. It made sense, and I thought that was a great connection towards the end. I was like, oh yeah, it's not so obvious, but then I guess it makes sense to make that character into the other one. A funny thing about how popular a TV series can be, like a show can have so much powers. Like I was thinking about when Hannibal. Remember the show Hannibal? There was I think in the third season or the final season was the third one where there was like a woman who was able to convince children to kill other children, and they stopped that from being shown on television, even though it had nothing to do with guns because there was a school shooting.
Right.
This one was like a school shooting. Like 5 days before it premiered, they said there's going to be some upsetting scenes in here with children dead, and they just let it go through. And it shows you how powerful and important a show can be to people that they wouldn't even give a fuck, because any other show, if a kid if a kid pointed a finger gun, they'll cut that scene out because Americans are too sensitive. Like they don't want to be reminded.
Which is very
that,
ironic. We're very sensitive, but also we go on school shootings and kill people.
But I also, it feels like it's happening so frequently, it's impossible to avoid.
Yeah. So
every day there's a new thing.
Yeah. So
I'm sure since the last one, there's been 3. I don't even know.
It was so interesting to see that. Wait, it was a kid who went on top of a roof and he shot a bunch of people at a fucking parade, at a 4th of July
Where's
parade.
the good Demogorgon when you need it?
He literally paralyzed a 7-year-old kid, and then he orphaned another kid. And it was, hey, okay, so whatever. But
There'll probably be another one next week. It's
probably, God forbid.
But
stop us being political. Danny, what did you think of, what was the worst part for you? Just the storyline or stuff like that, or what?
It's just it was a little annoying with the pizza truck driving around. But and then Thea made me realize, they probably could have cut down the Russia stuff. They probably could have shaved off a solid episode and compacted everything a little better. But, it's all right.
So
I liked the season overall. It was great.
The season, for the most part, was directed by the Duffer Brothers, Sean Levy, and Nimrod Antal, which I always laugh at Nimrod's name because Nimrod I always thought was meant like a moron. But Nimrod... is a working director. He did a very, very good movie that I don't know if it was considered.
If you ever meet him, you should say that. You should be like, I always thought your name meant a moron.
But
look at him with an angry face when you say it.
He did the movie. Isn't that what the word means? But Nimrod is, I think, a Russian director. He did this movie called Control. It starts with a K. In 2003, it was his first film, and it's a film that takes place entirely in the subway system. and there's like a serial killer who chases people into the trains and shit. It's just like a futuristic people that work for the train station. Incredible fucking movie, and it's supposed to be an ascension to heaven once you get out of the staircase. And once you climb up the staircase, he worked on Vacancy, which was that movie about, I guess, a guy with cameras and trying to kill people inside of a motel or something like that. He did Predators, a movie I thought sucked, but people love that movie. I only like the kid from that '70s show in it. Other than that, he did the Metallica Through the Never, which was like a concert movie, which was really good. So it was nice to see him working here, and his work, he was really good in this. The Duffer Brothers were great, but I think Sean Levy like really stood out with his episode with Max and stuff like that. So all the props to Sadie Sink.
I'm bad. I never look at like individual episode directors and stuff. I kind of just like.
I have to give credit to the Duffer Brothers for, you know, they like the show is consistently, every season I think is consistently good and actually getting better. And Netflix for giving them more money, because they're saying like Netflix is in trouble, even though they had like Squid Game is obviously the most streamed show of all time now.
Well, let's hope that the next. Let's hope the next one is good.
Yeah. So, and then Stranger Things, this one was a gigantic like streaming hit. So, you know, hopefully there's more series and more shows. But I think what Netflix's problem is that I think they get more viewers based on like actual movies that come out as opposed to the Netflix movies and shows. So it's really strange because they make so many of these series. But props to the Duffers. Now they have Upside Down Films, so they have their own production company. And then now I think they're going to do, which I think is unfortunate, but they're going to make a spin-off of Stranger Things, which has nothing to do with the main cast. So I don't know what that show is going to be about, but you know, we'll see. I don't know
how I feel about that, but okay.
Yeah, because I mean, what are you just
cool
going to
universe though? I feel like they could find something.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what are they going to fight like Demogorgons every? You know what I mean?
So basically, the whole Upside Down world, just to clarify, it was always there, obviously, but then
from
this
the 50s.
Dude controlled the hive mind with his powers and made it into like an extension of his psychopathy.
Yeah, because I don't know if this is a supernatural thing or a science fiction thing.
It's kind of both.
It's kind of
because I mean, what is?
I would say more supernatural than science fiction.
Because what does Vecna need 4 people? Like, why is it specific to only 4 people? Is it the 4 locations that have the?
I don't think it's meant to be
with all the people that have been dying through the whole series. He waits like 30 years or 30 years to like kill 4 random people.
Well, I think he was growing powerful in that time and hibernating and healing and shit.
Because he's working for the Mind Flayer, right? And so they've been trying to say, like, I think a lot of it is made up as it goes, as in writing. Because you know when Billy
is he working for the Mind Flayer, or is the Mind Flayer
he's working for the Mind
Flayer?
Him? He's working for the Mind Flayer, I think.
I thought
I thought it turned out that he created the Mind Flayer.
No,
I kind of took it that way too. Not that he created it, but that he controls it.
Didn't you see he walked up to the Mind Flayer? How could he create it if he walked up to it?
Yeah, but he kind of like took it over. Like he's like but this was all just like formless chaos.
Even the kids in the Stranger Things say it when they're talking about Vecna. They say, "Oh, he's basically a sergeant at arms for the main Mind Flayer." So
no, I know they say that, but I feel like it kind of clarifies. Maybe
I think for the fact that
here, hold on. I'm going to read the Wikipedia.
Because I think what happens is he talks English, so obviously people think, oh, he's the smartest one, so he speaks English.
No, I think it's just more like the Mind Flayer was this formless chaos thing, and then he kind of just, now he controls it.
Maybe the Mind Flayer speaks Portuguese and you're just all racist. Go ahead.
Maybe.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
The earliest form of the Mind Flayer was discovered by Henry Creel in 1979 following his banishment to the Upside Down. This version of the Mind Flayer was a storm-like mass of shadowy particles or mist. It is not known if the mist possessed its own independent will or consciousness. Henry used his powers to reconstitute the mist into a form that satisfied him, a giant spider-like entity with a flame-shaped head, not unlike a similar creature he had fantasized about and illustrated as a child.
Okay. I thought...
So it's kind of a combination.
Okay, I thought...
It existed, but he sort of...
He harvested
made it into it. He molded it.
So is it like a dumb demon or something like that?
I think so, yeah.
An entity that he sort of controlled, like he controlled everything else on that side.
So
like he basically took all of this like energy and made it in his mind, like created it.
And has been hunting 11 as those various forms.
So Henry is a Lord Zed, and the Mind Flayer is Rita Repulsa. That's how we look at it.
Word.
Be great.
Very good reference.
You see, the Mind Flayer has a pointy bra on. Yeah, I thought that's something I just got to figure out in the final season. I'm sure they'll retcon it to make, because they had Billy talking. Remember in season 2? I don't even think Henry Creel was an idea in season 2 yet, like Vecna.
No, probably not.
Because Billy's talking to them. He's talking to them in English. He goes, "You'll see what we've created." And he's talking in a we, in a we sort of royal we. It's not a royal we as an I. It's a we as in a bunch of us in hell or wherever this upside down is. So Billy's trying to convince them, to come over to this side. But now I'm sure they're retconning it to be Vecna was saying all that time. But I mean, we'll see what it is. I'm excited to see what they do with the 5th season. Obviously, Max is not dead. They'll bring her back. I thought it would have been more impactful, but I like Sadie Sink a lot. I thought she was great in the Fear Street movies.
Imagine the whole season is just her like with the tube up her nose and
running up a hill.
Running up a hill.
It should be. I think it should be Mike Wheeler's dad just watching the TV, and we just see the events on the television set. Yeah, I think. Go ahead. What rating, Danny? What rating would you give Stranger Things?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. What rating? I would give this an 8.5.
Whoa! Talking all that shit.
I know. I liked it though. An 8.5 is entertaining shit. An 8.5 out of 10. Oh God, I don't know. 8.5 out of 10. You are driving in a car, and a cop leans in and turns into a scary demon and reminds you that you killed a bunch of people in a car accident. And then a spider eats you and makes your body all broken. And now you've spent eternity wrapped in twines that are sentient with a scary grimace on your face.
I did appreciate those kills in the beginning of the season because of the first episode, because I did not expect them to be that graphic. And I was like, Jesus, well, I guess this is more for adults. Thea, what rating would you give Stranger Things Season 4?
I'm going to give it 8.8
Nope.
out of 10.
And outdo me.
Eddie singing Chrissy Wake Up in a sing-song voice, and that turning into a massive TikTok hit.
Yeah, I know. I was about to...
I didn't see that. I'll have to see
Chrissy,
that.
Wake up! I don't like this.
Constantly reverberating in my brain.
I'm going to have to definitely see that.
It's great. It's as good as Here Comes the Boy. I would give this an 8.7.
Wait, so I'm the lowest rating, you assholes?
Wow.
Yeah, because you are the asshole. Let's look in the mirror. I would give this an 8.7, telling the uncle of a disappeared boy that he was a good guy and saved the world, not telling him where his dead body is. He was like, yeah. He was a hero. Goodbye.
No context required.
See you later. What the fuck? Anyway, and with that, Danny, Thea, what's the final word?
Bring.
Danny, what's the final word?
Raging.
Erection.